Welcome everybody to another edition of our Retirement Renaissance video blog. I'm here with my colleague Mike Angelucci, CFP, our Retirement Renaissance guru.
Yeah.
I'm Mike Hebron, the Chief Operating Officer and partner at Level Financial. And today we're going to elaborate on our last discussion about the Blue Zones. We're going to get a little bit deeper into implementing the Blue Zones. And so, as a refresher, the Blue Zones obviously are geographic areas in the world where people have proven to live longer.
Yep.
And we also know that in the Blue Zones, the people that live there tended to have certain practices that they have throughout their lives to extend their life. And that's the whole idea about a Retirement Renaissance blog, which is living a better retirement, living longer, happier, living better in general.
Exactly.
So today we're going to talk about implementing the Blue Zones, and the very first thing they talk about in the Blue Zones book that's written by Dan Buettner.
Buettner, yep.
Buettner,
Yes.
talks about doing what we call a longevity test.
Right.
And we're going to put this up on the video blog. We'll put the website on there where you can go and do the test yourself. But it gives you an idea of your healthy life expectancy. Just tell me a little bit about this. I'm assuming you've taken the test.
I have taken the test.
What it said. But, you've taken the test. Tell me a little bit about what's going on in the test.
Yep, sure. We'll put up the address, the website address, but it's www.bluezones.com, and there is a test. And the test really looks at your healthy life expectancy, not your life expectancy. So how many years you can have of good health in your life.
Right. So the difference is that life expectancy is, hey, you're going to live to be 100, but the last 5 years are going to be terrible.
Exactly.
And healthy life expectancy is, well, you're going to live to be 100, and you can expect that your healthy life will be to 97.
Exactly.
Okay, good.
Yes.
Good.
And interesting, we find that in the U.S., the healthy life expectancy is less than that in other countries.
Okay.
And to answer your question, I took the test.
Okay.
I was a little surprised because I wasn't as happy with the outcome as I thought, but some of that is lifestyle.
And is the idea behind the longevity test, obviously, I would assume, is to reduce the amount of time between life expectancy and longevity health expectancy.
Exactly.
To make sure that number is as narrow as possible, right?
Exactly.
Okay,
yes,
good.
You hit it.
Okay, so the book talks about implementing a Blue Zone type of lifestyle, and they talk about this thing called the Power 9. Cool. So Mike, explain a little bit for us what the Power 9 is.
The Power 9 are those common attributes among all the Blue Zones. So what Buettner does in the book is says, all these Blue Zones have these 9 things that the people do that help them have a healthy life.
Okay. So what are some of these things? I know we touched on them before. But, for example, walking.
Right.
Integrating walking into your daily routine.
Exactly. And I'll say too, he emphasizes in the book, if you read this and you want to implement some things, you don't try to implement all 9 at once. Change is difficult. Pick up 1 or 2 and understand that habits take 5 to 10 weeks to implement, to make something a habit if you start doing one of these 9. So maybe pick some low-hanging fruit and do some that you think you can do immediately. And over and over again, and what I'll be stressing in future podcasts and blogs with this is that walking, movement is key. I've heard doctors say if they could write one script for good health, it would be movement. Really,
a script
for walking, and
take once a day.
Exactly.
7 days a week.
And that's what they find. I mean, walking helps with your cardiovascular system, your brain functioning, long-term Alzheimer's outcome. Whether you will be a candidate for Alzheimer's is correlated to your walking or your exercise.
So I see in my show notes here, we talk about a thing. Let's see if I can butcher this. Hara-Hachi Bu?
Hara-Hachi-Bu.
Hara-Hachi-Bu. What is Hara-Hachi-Bu in the Blue Zones?
That is the practice that the Okinawans use. They actually say Hara-Hachi-Bu before they eat, and it means eat till you're full.
Hara-Hachi-Bu.
So eat till you're 80% full, and that gets back to you've always heard, like, you tend to overeat because you keep eating and eating. It takes 20 minutes before your stomach registers that you're full. So if you
Right.
just stop and wait 20 minutes, when you start to feel full, you'll feel full in 20 minutes,
Yep.
and then you don't overeat. And that's a
And
huge
part of
component.
this is, I mean, I'm very guilty of this. My wife will tell you this. I'm a very fast eater. I'm a notoriously
Yes.
fast eater. And
Yeah.
just slowing down. That old, I think my parents used to say, oh, you know, chew your food 32 times.
Right, yes,
And
the
that
old
is
30,
actually
yeah.
a timing mechanism.
Yeah.
That's all that is.
To slow it down.
To slow it down.
So your brain
and
registers.
So your brain registered, your digestive system can register the food a
The-
little
the-
bit sooner.
The one other thing too about this, he gets into a little bit in the book, and we'll have future talks about this, is some intermittent fasting, and this is another way of intermittent fasting, like it's somewhat starving your body a little bit. I hate to say starving because people will say I don't want to starve.
Yeah, and that's, I think starving might be a strong
Right.
word to use for intermittent fasting. The whole idea behind that is really just to have long periods of time where you don't have food in your system. So
Correct.
you're effectively burning more calories
Right.
at a faster rate because you have less in there to process. I'm assuming it's something
Part
like
of that, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
What about I see here we're talking about avoiding meat, eating beans, whole grains. Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, that is gets back to over and over again what you'll see, whether it's in this book or other things you look at. It sure seems from all the research that I've read and listened to is the Mediterranean diet. Cut your red meats back, eat mostly fish, beans, green leafy vegetables, fruits, nuts, seeds, those type of things. Extra virgin olive oil, which we can touch base a little bit on when you talk about extra virgin olive oil. You want to make sure that it's high in polyphenols, which are good for your body. A lot of
Okay.
extra virgin olive
I'm
oil.
assuming you can look at the when you're in the store, you can look at the sticker for that,
Yes.
and it will tell you.
Some
if it
of them
has
will
that
tell you.
polyphenols.
Polyphenols, yes.
Okay,
And
okay.
I actually Googled after I read this and said, geez, not all extra virgin olive oils are made the same
Okay.
or have the same attributes. So I Googled some brands and started purchasing those as a lifestyle change.
All right. Here's some more Okinawan phrases
Yes.
for you. What is okay? I'm gonna kill this one. Ikigai? How do you,
Ikigai.
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 Okay.
Ikigai.
What is Ikigai?
Ikigai is sense of purpose. So in all these blue zones, they found people had some sense of purpose, and it doesn't mean that you have to find the next vaccine. It could be a matter of watching your grandchildren. They talk about one gentleman in Costa Rica he was 100 years old, and every day he still went to fish, and he felt like he was providing food for his family. It could be wanting to learn to sew or knit or play chess. It's just some sort of purpose in your life. It's the reason why you get out of bed in the morning. You're interested in doing something that gives your life meaning.
Okay. Now here's another one I think we can all subscribe to: reducing stress and
Yes.
and specifically trying to find quiet time.
Yes.
I know in my life I have a hard time finding quiet time. It just seems like there's always noise going on around me. So talk a little bit about what that means in the book.
Again, it's just about having that meditative time in your life to process things, to slow down, to contemplate, and stress reduction. It's really stress reduction, and that, again, that's a huge component to overall wellness.
So is this why you see things now like I saw an advertisement the other day on TV for the Calm app?
Yeah.
It's called the Calm app. It was very calming. I mean, the name's calming, right? Is
Yes.
that along those lines?
Yes.
I don't know what
Yeah.
happens with the Calm app, or I wonder if I could play that when
Yes.
I'm stuck in traffic.
You could. I actually have the Calm app, and you
Oh,
can
okay,
listen to
good.
different sounds. Be careful you don't want to fall asleep while you're in
Right, right.
traffic.
There's
But
time.
there's
a
time
and
to
place for
use
the
it.
Calm
Yes,
app.
yes.
Okay.
In fact, though, even with that, there's a Dr. Ornish who talks a lot about heart health, and his program is Mediterranean diet, exercise, and some form of meditation. So getting that quiet time is very important.
Okay, and I think we'll hit one more here,
Okay.
and then of course we'll put all of the little implementation bullet points on the visual here. The right tribe.
The right.
What is the right tribe?
The right tribe is surrounding yourself with people that will help support you and facilitate all these other things. So if you want to implement a healthy lifestyle, you can't go hang out with your buddies having burgers a couple nights a week. That won't help. But
So if you've got a lot of meat-eating friends, you got to cross them off the list. Is that the idea?
Well, you may want to not hang with them all the time, but
Maybe
probably
just, be a little careful about how often you hang out.
exactly. But
Okay.
the right tribe is generally your family, people that support you, understand
Sure.
you, make you feel comfortable. That's the key component. But
All right.
surrounding yourself with the right group definitely helps.
Okay, great. So that's a good starter on implementing the blue zones. Until our next blog post here, I'm Mike Hebern. This is Mike Angelucci, and we'll talk to you next time.
Thanks.